Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the BSR MX5 series here at the Nordschleife. It's the green hell, and after a little bit of a delayed start for us, sorry about that, we are underway, and Tyler Maxton has the lead after having a qualifying ban where nobody actually set a lap time, so the Wheel of Destiny spun for us, and Tyler started on the front row. We've actually got a little bit of crash. That's Panera, as there's a giant pack of cars. Marco, what's happening right now?
Yeah, first of all, apologies. YouTube was not starting the stream for whatever reason, so apologize for missing this opening of the broadcast. We tried and tried, and now hopefully you can find us because we are in another section of the channel, not in the scheduled stream. But yeah, here for a very unique kind of racing tonight because we are going to have. Two races of 3 laps each instead of the traditional 3 50-minute races. As you can see, the guys are already beating and banging with each other in this race 1 of 2 evening/night race around the Nordschleife, and the drivers are really going hard, and it's going to be a tough one. Qualifying, like you said, was problematic for everyone. And let's see, hopefully we can, get ourselves into a good pace. Once again, massive apologies for the problems. But let's get it going because it's a very unique event. And as in the front, Maxon is running away, like you were saying, this pack of cars here certainly looks like they are feisty and looking for a fight.
Yeah, looking for a fight is definitely what's happening as we're watching over Silkstone as he's going around the outside of Charles Kelly, man. He made that move stick, and what a great move by there. You can drive these cars side by side throughout the green hell, but it's very difficult to get a move off right safely, I must say, because these walls are so close to you. As we once we started broadcasting, we saw a car go into the wall, and we already have I believe 2 retirements right now.
Yes, we have, and right now we have this fight between Ansford and Silkstone, as they are trying to find a way, to get past each other. Well, Silkstone with a new livery, by the way. He was usually in a Irish tricolor MX5, and now with a still, a very colorful Castrol-based paint scheme. And he moves up to 5th place, so Silkstone, a driver that has usually been, fighting at the back end of the top 10, maybe the top 15 today, apparently looking very good around this racetrack, Austin, and up to the top 5, which I think would be his best result so far in the championship.
It definitely is setting himself up for his best results, and he's also gaining on a party ahead of him. And now, remember, here at the Green Hell, there's this massive street at the end of the lap, and these, oh my goodness!
Oh dear me, that's a massive crash there. Dale Bennison and three year 1 cars involved, Graham Sesford, and the other was, I think, Steve Cooley. So let's go and get the replay. We caught the back end of that.
I believe that was Cooley who was upside down.
Yeah, I think he was. Let's see. It was the replay. Should be Steve Cooley's car. Oh, there will be contact in front of him, and his teammate spins.
Oh,
no,
nasty.
it was Sesford, I think, that went up and over. And so let's see from Graham Sesford's perspective.
Ladies and gentlemen, you might want to grab a barf bag because you're going to get sick after this. Gets it high on the curb, comes across track, gets speared by his teammate, and that's 1, 2, 3 into the wall. That was a 3 flips, then collects his teammate right there. And that is very disastrous for the year 1 team.
Back to this fight, they are going 4Y on the Dottinger Hoe as they are fighting for position. Massive straight here. I cannot say massive enough, I think, as the first lap is in the books. Tyler Maxon completes it. As in front of them, this is the lead for the pro race, by the way, and the pro drivers, Austin, really having a chance at an overall win today, given that basically we are doing 30 minutes races instead of the 15-minute races we have usually, because 10 minutes per lap times 3, my math skills are terrible, but that makes 30 more or less.
Yes, it'll be 3 laps here, and the first and second races. We aren't doing that normal 3-race stuff as we're looking at Moray and I believe that is Hardy going side by side of each other. And they're going into turn 1 and they're using a 24-hour layout, so it's not that horseshoe that they got right there. But look at that overtake around the outside these pro drivers have.
So Max Boré is in 5th and now looking to attack Liam Silkson. Yeah, that is just in front of them. You see that is the result clothing machine of Carl Hardy. Further back, Charles Kellyman is defending from another pro driver. Christian Brun, you can recognize the pro drivers by their stripe close to their names. Blue for the pros and green for the amateurs. As you can see, Kellyman getting overtaken there by Brown. Of course, these guys, especially
Brown went off, and Kellyman's got his position back, but they're still going to be side by side as they come up to the Schumacher S right here. And Kellyman is going to have that inside line, but it's not going to really last for long. As actually that was Brown that we were following who had the inside line. As we're going to switch back to Tyler Maxson. He goes through the chicane, the less disruptive chicane as he flings it around as he enters the Nordschleife for another time into the green hell.
Yes, Maxson, so starting from the pole, leading the first lap. And now, of course, looking to run away 7.4 seconds in front of Andy Maxwell for OSL H-Con Racing. In 3rd is Year 1 Racing's Carl Jacolet and the privateer Liam Silkstone that makes a mistake, and Boré and Boré goes past. There's a car there, which I think is a lapped car now that I think about it.
Yeah, I believe that is a lapped car.
Should be Jason Cooper. And
that is Jason Cooper.
He is one of the drivers of the of the Tuesday series, and so at the same time, Jacolet, you can see Matt Emery getting past Silkstone for 5th place. The next target will be Jacolet, but he's a bit far ahead, I think. Yes, he's got 16.4 seconds over Max Boire. Let's focus a fight here between Max Wright and Scott Malcolm. The car behind them is a lapped car. And that should be either Dan Blake. It should be Dan Blake, judging by the colorful livery, the unique Fury Sim Sport Academy livery there. And
oh, this is getting spicy right here. You saw Malcolm actually get held up. He went into the grass, and that held up his car. And that's going to give Wright the advantage he had outside over the crest. Did the little flick, but very disastrous for Scott Malcolm hitting onto the curb. He had a little bit of underspeed as he regained his car, and it's all about exits in these small straights. Oh, that is DTP in the wall.
Yeah,
David
new drivers.
Piggott.
Newcomer to the series.
Piggott. Well, what's happened to him? Did he just go straight off, or was this... Ooh. Back end gets out, hops onto that curb, and this is during that long right-hander, and he gets into the wall. That is very unfortunate for DTP.
Charles Kellyman and Kip Stevens. I think they were in the long right-hander. Let's see.
Same corner.
The long right-hander.
DTP. Yes, this is the exact same corner. Kip Stevens on the back end. Charles Kellyman just in front of him. Kip Stevens gets loose. He comes across the curve and collects Kellyman right there.
Wow. Let's get it from Kip's perspective. He lost the car under braking, very uncharacteristic. Maybe didn't want. And then
in the braking zone, he turned. That just upset the car, and that's the second collision that we had this race. Remember
Kellyman again.
Okay, we're gonna have to go onto the replay, see what's happening to Kellyman. Kellyman limping his car back home. Is he gonna get onto the curb right here?
Oh, wow.
Yes. 2, 3. 3 still the record.
And he's still going, even though I think it's better.
He's gonna retire. He's gonna retire.
He needs to park the car, absolutely. Yeah. So, well, Interesting start of the proceedings here tonight. Once again, big apologies for missing the beginning of the race. We are investigating into that. YouTube not collaborating with us, sadly. So Max Boire and Emery did the lead for the Pro Series, and the fourth and fifth car with Christian Brown about to put a move on Silverstone. Now, we usually don't focus a lot on the pros in this series, Austin, of course, but with the way the racing will be tonight, it certainly is going to be, like we said earlier, the pros will certainly have, and that isn't Carlardi going slow? No, he's not going slow. He's pushing very hard. You know, the pros, like I said earlier, will really have a big chance at having a good all of points in the two races. Once again, we will only have two races tonight. Race 1 and later race 2. Both will be 3 laps with a reverse grid in between, so you don't want to miss that, as Craig Jones is having some issues and is able to continue. Car seems to be okay. He is languishing, sadly for him, in 15th place, 2 behind Alan Toon, with some damage on the front of his car, but you know, could be worse.
He's still going. He's still going. He could be upside down, but he's still going on. We're looking back up at the battle for 9th. Hansford and Hardy. Hansford up the inside. And they're going side by side. And also behind him, Scott Malcolm and Benison. I believe that's a lapped car that Malcolm's racing with.
Yeah, and I said that Hardy's car is okay, but it's not. Now we watch from the top of the picture. You can see front left is very damaged, and his speed is absolutely missing something, I would say.
Now, I must say why the pros are up here. They all started from the pit lane. They didn't take part in the formation lap or the formation approach, I must say, after that qualifying. This is not a sprint race like it usually is. This is more of a endurance race like we saw at Le Mans, but up to a different scale. This is the green hell. You have to keep your car going through the green hell to finish this race, and that's what all these pros have done. They just kept it clean, and that's how they've moved all the way up to 4th, 5th, and 6th right here. Boire, Emery, and Brown, as Emery, he gets off into the grasses a little bit as we look back, and then from Boire going on to Emery right now is to see that he's chasing down Boire and Carlos Jacqueline up there. Actually, no, that's that lapped car of
Jason Cooper.
Jason Cooper. Yes. And update on the leader of Tyler Maxton and Andy Maxwell. 10 seconds separate them. I believe it's fallen down just a little bit. Tyler should be taking it pretty easy. But knowing Tyler, he's pushing as hard as he can. And he's actually pulling away from Andy Maxwell in these S turns. About still 10 seconds separates them. And I think Tyler might bring that out to 11 seconds on that straight. Because that car is in perfect condition.
Well, we have the power and the technology, so let's show the comparisons of the very long lap around here, and iRacing overdoes it as per usual with 14 sectors. So yeah, hopefully I think I set a limit in the overlay for the last 5 sectors to show, for obvious reasons, but you can have an idea more or less, you know, of how they are going. And as you can see, basically in a couple of sectors they are very even, but for the majority of the lap seems like Maxon has a little bit of an edge over his rival.
Maxton has an edge, and that front straight, it looks so smooth, but you can see that Tyler's front suspension is bouncing up and down. So it's a pretty bumpy road, and that's actually going to affect his top speed if you continue to ride these bumps. So it's not the smoothest road, so either those bumps are affecting his speed, or it's just Maxton just driving over the unfortunate bumps. And I want to switch on to Andy Maxwell, see if he has any car damage. On board Maxwell's 0.2 slower than Maxton down that entire back straight, which is what Sector 13 is mainly of. 13 out of the 14 sectors of 13 is that straight. And while we're looking at his car, I don't see any damage on it, so don't know why he was so slow on the straight, but he's got Carlos Jacqueline right behind him.
Yes, and I think that for Maxon is a question of bringing the car home, but for Maxwell, that second place now in jeopardy, sorry, because I think Jacqueline gained 3 seconds in that lap alone, and is looking at the fastest lap of the race, even though well beaten by Max Buore. 9 minutes 57 seconds, almost 10 seconds gained over Carl Jacolet in that lap. So you can see the difference between the pros and the hams. And now all of a sudden Jason Cooper is shown in 5th. So there must have been an issue with the timing, because he was shown 1 lap down until a few laps ago. And now he's fighting for the lead in the pro class, and he will get it. Wow.
Well, this is certainly odd. But yeah, Jason Cooper is now leading it off. I'm guessing sometimes the timing screens take 1 to 2 laps to get things right, to get them into this thing. And with just so little laps here, that some glitches might appear. And yeah, Jason Cooper, he was driving like he wasn't a laps car, and I was a bit skeptical of it. And I'm like, there might be something up, but I just didn't speak up. And well, Jason Cooper is now in 4th place, as we're watching Andy Maxwell defend from Carl Jacolet. Can Carl Jacolet send it up to the inside in the chicane before the green hell, or will he wait for his opportunity to shine? If Tyler is listening to it right now, he's just relishing in us saying Maxwell and Jacolet right now, because those are the 2 cars behind him, and if he has his relative timing up, he'll see that as Jacolet pulls out the crossover on Maxwell. They're going side by side, heading into the chicane. Maxwell's got the inside line. Jacolet sneaks in behind him, but that is definitely going to affect their approach and speed throughout there as they take that sharp left-hander, as Jacolet has a weird problem in braking once more, as they enter the Nordschleife for the final time, as it's Cinque La Blanca, I believe that's what you say. As,
Sale La Blanca, but Jason Cooper with issues. Whatever happened to him? Well, we'll go back to that very soon, but let's focus on this fantastic fight for the 2nd spot, because Jacolet is coming back at Maxwell.
Race 1 of 2 is up for grabs, and now as they're battling out throughout the long and winding green hell, that purple, green, and black Mazda is getting right up close to him, and they're going side by side through this tight and twisty section as Jacolet takes 2nd place, but Maxwell's going to fight behind as they're going over this little jump hump right here, and Jacolet's going to cut Maxwell off right there and take him in that extremely fast turn. And Carl Jacolet just set the purple sector through sector 3 right there.
Yeah, that was, I think, the Flugplatz, where they were having the overtake. The basically Flugplatz, my rough German, I think, means runway, airport runway. So let's see what happened to Jason Cooper, by the way, because it seems like he's parked. You know, he's still stopped on the track, so I don't know what's going on.
Pulled off.
Which is very strange.
And that was an abrupt stop, so he might have...
Didn't... you know, I don't want to say anything, but I'm thinking he might have cut the course to jump from last to basically fighting for the lead. I don't know.
You think that?
I don't know. Let's see his last lap. No, he's a 9:57.4, so...
Yeah, he could have jumped the course. He might be thinking of jumping the course in front of Tyler Maxon at the very end, but...
I don't know. That was off the top of my head. Very strange to have a car parked like that in the middle, well, at the beginning of the final lap, whilst leading the
He hasn't hopped out of the car, so
no, he's still there.
I think he's thinking if everyone gets past him... Oh, he's driving again, so I think... Yeah, he's...
Or maybe
okay.
He had an issue with the
Maybe he had a real-life issue.
Yeah, or a real-life
Probably real-life issue.
Too bad,
but
because...
these are sim drivers.
I mean, yeah, too bad, because he was having a fantastic run. And he, you know, I think it's one of those nights, Austin, where a lot of crazy things happen. And this is one of them. Certainly not a crazy night for Tyler Maxon, because he is enjoying a nice 13.3 seconds lead over his
He was
nearest
planning.
rivals.
I must say, he was planning on having a crazy night where if everyone qualified, which no one did, spoiler alert, he was forced to start from the back of the field. But with that random grid, it's kind of blew that out of the water, and he started on pole. So he got lucky by the hand of the gods, and he started out there. But he was planning, and he was telling me at the start of the broadcast saying, hey, make sure the camera's on me because he'll be starting from the back. And basically, we all know how Tyler Dive Bomb Maxton works. He was going to send it up the inside no matter what. And, well, thankfully we didn't have to see that, but he's certainly not letting up anyway, as he's leading by 14 seconds. We're on board with Maxwell as he's still chasing out Jacqueline through the, I would like to call this part the halfway point of the green hell, which it honestly is, as they're approaching on the carousel. And Maxwell gaining the speed on Jacqueline. Now, they do have that long straight at the very end of the lap. If I was Maxwell, I would not try to overtake him until there. Give Carl Jacqueline less opportunities to re-overtake you back.
Look at the slipstream, how big it is in this car, because in the last couple of sectors, especially in the last sector, alpha second gained by Maxwell. Jacqueline showed he has a bit more pace in the more twisty part of the track, but thanks to the slipstream and of course Maxwell, a very, very good driver on his own, they are certainly now very, very close. And like you said, Maxwell will have a great chance thanks to that big slipstream and the big straight in the final part of the lap. You see, as soon as the track started to become more twisty, Jacqueline gained a bit more, but now that big straight in the end will be the decisive part of the track for both of these guys.
Yeah, so my games might actually be played by Jacqueline right now. He might try to get Maxwell in front of him just on purpose if he wants to use that front straight to his advantage, because sure, he has the pace for the twisty part, but that straight is just literally going to count that down to literally nothing if Maxwell continues right here. So if Jacqueline wants to purposely let Maxwell by, he could do that and keep second place to himself. That is the tricky way to do it, but it's certainly going to be strategy heaven as they're approaching the secondary carousel.
Yes, as you can see, leader is about to get into the back, into the final part of the lap, and here we go with the two pursuing drivers.
This is for second in the first race out of two. We aren't having the third race today, since this is one long lap, so it'll just be two races today with one special wheel at the end of this race, as Maxon just all on his own, looking like a car on a Sunday drive. So he goes up to Yokohama Hill.
Look at that sunset. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, it is beautiful, but watching these cars race with lights on is even more beautiful in my mind, as Jacqueline looked wide and looked like Andy Maxwell tried to go for a move up onto the inside. And here they go into the secondary carousel. This is something we do not want to miss, because now it's crunch time. Pedal to the metal. Can Jacqueline, did he build enough gap, as Brown has had an issue? We're not going to look at that. Did Jacqueline pull off enough of a gap to Maxwell, or will Maxwell have the advantage right here? Boré is also back in there.
And here we go.
Oh, you're going to see a lot of weaving down the straight, so that's going to play greatly into Max Boré's favor. But that weaving is not even going to help him out, as here comes Andy Maxwell. They're going to be side by side, and Boré is sitting behind his teammate getting that slipstream, but they're going to be side by side. They're all the way until the finish, as Tyler Maxon, I believe he's coming across the finish line right now, but they're still side by side. They're having a drag race at the Nürburgring, and this is going to be a horse race for second place between these two drivers. Jacqueline leads Maxwell going into the turn. They have 3 more corners to go for second place. Jacqueline up on to the left, Maxwell on the right, but Jacqueline cuts him off right there, and Jacqueline played it safe, and he's going to take second place as Tyler Maxon cruises across the line for first place and back to second as they come onto the front straight. This is the last chance move for Andy Maxwell as he can, but I don't think the straight's long enough as Carlos Jacquelette's going to take second place, followed by Andy Maxwell and Max Boré.
Yeah, what a fantastic stuff there, side by side on the backstretch. I mean, in the end, Jacquelet prevailed, but what a fantastic fight that was. Emery finished in 5th and 2nd in class, Brown 3rd, 6th overall. Then we have Max Wright. A lot of drivers have, they are very distant. There is a fight here between Bennison and Stevensford, I think. Yes, it is. Battle for 14th, and you can see the gap. Hansford trying to bring it down, but the slipstream not very effective, and that is why look at the front end of the Team Optical car. Could use some work between race 1 and race 2.
Yeah,
he's still gaining, but not at the rate he would have with a normal car.
Mechanics definitely gonna take a look at that and buff it out. I'm sure it'll be fine. But Hansford is closing in on Bennison, and with all the year 1 cars having a massive issue, I'm pretty sure all of them are going to try to take race 2 very, very easier compared to this one, as they got a few curves to go, and I don't think Hansford has the car control to really stay with Bennison.
No, the car is impossible to drive, I think, in the corners, and the aero damage is certainly big. So Bennison, in the end, brings on P14. Hansford will be 15th. And then we have other drivers. Alan Toon is coming home, and he's about to catch, I think, a wounded Carl Hardy. We shall see. It's going to take a bit to get all the cars home safe and sound, so don't go away, because there are still some battles to resolve. Here is one, and David Taylor Pigott, after having a fast repair, passed poor Charles Kellyman, that is enjoying a barbecue on his MX5.
Yeah, that is one smoky car that Charles Kellerman has, and as a big fan of barbecue and smoked brisket, I would love to have a plate on your engine.
But the car is still going, so I think he's about to give up, but he's still going.
It's going, it's slowing down, the revs are going down. He's shifted down and increased the RPM, but if you look at the rev limiter, he's barely getting that light on. That's how low on power Kellyman is. But the fact that he's still driving is pretty impressive. But look how dirty his windshield is as well.
Yeah.
Killed a lot of bugs today.
And the smoke from the engine, the oil, and all the other mess. Poor Charles Kellyman. Not his race 1 so far. I think he will be good for the reverse.
Well, he has to cross the line for the reverse.
No, you just need to be 1 lap down or better, so no need to worry. I think my math skills are once again terrible.
That car is sliding all over the place. I think we should have the outside cam just show you how much of a smoke trail he is. It's pretty much the party float at the end of a parade, just smoking and just on its way.
If this was real life, the marshals and the race director would not be very happy with him. Especially here, where you have to...
Yeah. It's like, I know trees like carbon dioxide a little bit. That kind of helps them grow. They don't like this type of pollution.
Absolutely not.
And I'm all for big smoking truck diesels as the next guy, but this is just absurd.
Also, other drivers coming through. Lee Dimmer crossing the start-finish line in his Simmortal car. And speaking of Simmortal, fantastic sponsors of our brand new Apex Racing League British GT Championship that started last night with a fantastic round in Silverstone, and we will be back at Brands Hatch in next Sunday, so you don't want to miss that. We had fantastic turnout. It was very entertaining, and the GT3s and the Porsche Cup cars with some of the best drivers out there really put on a show. So Dimmer is home, Pigott is coming, will Kellyman make it home? He is pulling a Marco Barbanera. I was telling you in private that anecdote. He is letting everyone wait. Charles Kellyman, for
Yeah, you were saying something about your classic Grand Prix experience, and you finished the race just ahead of the leaders, and you took a leisurely 16-minute lap. And Kellyman, I believe he's not doing that on purpose. He just really wants to finish. If he was doing it on purpose, he'd be weaving across the track. But that is one way to finish the race. Let everyone calm down and.
and get some camera time also because
Well,
sponsors.
he's already done that, but being involved in a crash
Oh yes, yes, but basically,
twice.
I think his sponsors will be very, very happy as he's just got one. I'm only afraid that that engine is going to give out in the last part where the track is going up the hill. So hopefully that doesn't happen. That would be very
If that
cruel.
happens, it'll be cruel. But I think a few of the drivers that are waiting for him to go or to finish would have one word that starts with K, and I love saying it, karma, if that does happen. But it looks like he's going to coast it in across the line very soon. One little 100-foot climb, and if it goes into bits, that'll be a great way to finish. But he's going to coast it around, and finally finishing this astoundingly long lap.
Let's see how long that lap was. Charles Kellyman. It was. We don't have it recorded, sadly, but let's say that we have 40 minutes on the clock, so that was a pretty long lap by Charles. Now, let's go through the race results for race 1.
After a pretty chaotic race one, Tyler Maxson takes the win, his second win ever in the BSR MX5 Monday Cup, followed by Carl Jacqueline, Andy Maxwell, Max Borey, Matt Emery, Christian Brown, Max Wright, Dan Blake, Ben Sharp, Jason Cooper, Luke Cooper, Liam Silkstone, Scott Malcolm, Dale Bennison, Steve Hansford, Carl Hardy, Alan Toon, Steve Cooley, John Moore, Lee Dever, David Taylor Piggott, aka DTP, Charles Kellyman, or Charles Smoky Man, Craig Jones, Kip Stevens, Martin Sampson, Welshie Walsh, Woods Van Essen, Michael Berry, Graham Sesser, Mark Westwood, and Brian Holmes take the very final spot. Those last 4 drivers that actually did not start, but that was our biggest field ever with 31 cars starting this race.
And we are going to have 26 cars eligible for the reverse, with Wesley Walsh being the last one of them. And let's bring up the reverse grid wheel. Hopefully she is not going to betray us tonight in a night where not everything has gone right. But let's see. Let's roll it. Well, we have no sound from the reverse grid wheel, which is interesting. What a night!
Reverse wheel.
Thank you for providing us with the. Thank you for this impromptu background music full -4. So it is a full reverse. Judging by the rules we have, -2, -3, -4 is a full reverse. So 26 reverse is going to be a race 2 that you certainly cannot miss, Austin. And hopefully everyone will be back in just a few minutes, no?
Yeah, race 2 is something to stay here for. We'll actually have to start on this time. So sit back, relax, grab a cold one, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome back to the BSR MX5 Monday Cup. I'm Austin. I am joined by Marco Barbonera, and we're here for the final race of the day, the second race of the day, and the last race of the day, which I believe I already said that once, but heck, that's happened, but it's the first time that we're actually watching the grid up, so it's your first look at the grid right now. Starting on pole, it's Charles Kellyman, followed by DTP, David Taylor, Piggott, John Moore, Steve Cooley, Alan Toon, Carl Hardy, Steve Hanser, Dale Benson, Scott Malcolm, Leon Silkstone, Ben Sharp, Andy Maxwell, Carl Jacqueline, Tyler Maxon, race 1 winner, looking to go for the sweep, Craig Jones, Martin Sampson, Michael Berry, Lee Dimmer, Mark Westwood, Dan Blake, Max Wright, Christian Brown, Max Borre, Matt Emery, Wouter Van Essen, and Kip Stevens filling out the pros in this field. And on this formation lap, do you think Tyler Maxon can go 2 for 2, or will we have another winner because the green hell is so unpredictable?
Very unpredictable. You're absolutely right. I think that it is going to be tough to repeat it, but if you can, because of the troubles you can get in the track. You know, even if you are not the one making the mistake, you can get quite easily involved in a mistake. So let's see how this works. Because there is time, there is half an hour, of course, of racing, more or less. So let's see. Charles Kellyman gets rewarded with pole thanks to his perseverance in race 1, finishing the race despite the blown engine, or a pre-blown engine, I should say, because it never exploded. Yeah. And the pace car is about to take the hard right, and here we go then.
Yeah, pace is going to be dictated by Charles Kellyman. Now, does he want this to be hectic, or does he want this to be a very fast start? Well, he's already put the foot to the metal as it's green, 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 and we're underway and racing here at the Nürburgring and ready to go for race 2 of the day. And Charles Kellyman has a comfortable lead. DTP and Steve Cooley having a little bit of fight. And look at John Moore also up on the inside, making some moves up onto the inside. Who's at that red card? We were looking at Tyler Maxon going around the outside of a few people. Tyler living up to that dive bomb name. That's John Moore and Steve Cooley side by side as the TP's ahead. They're going 3 wide back there. That's Alan Toon, Ben Sharp, and Steve Hans. Ben Sharp and Scott Malcolm up onto the inside. Scott Malcolm making that move up on Alan Toon right there as Alan Toon's fighting and holding him off as they're going 2 wide. Tyler Maxon has made his way up there as well.
I mean, fantastic start, people taking it easy, which is what we want to see, but not very easy, in the sense that they are still fighting, not taking stupid risks. Hopefully I don't jinx them, and I haven't. Alan Toon going a bit slowly there, but apart from that, it's a decent start with, yeah, look at Maxon. Going,
Maxon and Jacqueline, both of them are already 5 places up. Max is getting onto the back end of Scott Malcolm. And these cars are all bumper to bumper right now. Tyler dive bomb Maxton making up some moves in the first spots. But look at Carl Jacqueline moving up 7th place, and Tyler sends it up the inside, living up to his dive bomb name. And he takes Scott Malcolm right there. And he's already next on to Steve Hansford ahead of him. And they're in the Grand Prix checkery. This is very easy to overtake right here. But once they enter the green hill, it's going to get 1,000 times more interesting as Tyler Maxton gets another spot right there as they're approaching the very almost net code takedown right there as Steve Hansford gone to the back panel as Tyler Maxton sent it straight into the back of John Moore.
And so we have some issues here, some squealing of tires. Carl Hardy going a bit slowly there, but let's move forward where we have Ben Sharp. Oh, John Moore is a bit wide. And David Taylor Pigott has been overtaken by Steve Cooley. So we have a 4-car pack chasing Charles Kellyman right now. Let's focus on these guys because I'm expecting some big fireworks in the next few corners.
DTP after that overtake, he's gonna have to try to stay close to Steve Cooley as he can, but he's got the charging Ben Sharp and Carl Jacqueline. These two are the series favorites as Tyler Maxton gets around John Moore. And these 3 guys are the fastest guys in this league besides from the pro drivers. And it should be a great fight watching all these guys be in one pack together. As Kellyman using that blown-ish engine, I believe they souped it up just a little bit. Can't keep that pace. Oh, and DTP brakes right there, and he pretty much brake checked Ben Sharp, and Ben Sharp gets a tap by Carl Jacqueline, and guess who that is getting on the train right now? Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Maxton has joined the fight. And looking back, we got Silkstone and John Moore. They're going side by side, but look at Tyler Maxton going side by side on the inside of Jacqueline over the hump. And I believe you call this runway. Is German and Tyler Maxton is going. Got one. DTP went off the track. Tyler Maxton's off to the inside. DTP is pretty much has Tyler Maxton squirreled up, and Tyler Maxton holds it up to the inside and gets P3 off of DTP. That was very squirrely right there, but Tyler Maxton flew past these guys like a leaf in a summer's breeze, making it look that easy. 11 places up from where he qualified. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Tyler Maxton show.
And now Jacqueline, all sorts of sideways. Pigott a bit too fast. Yes, he goes into the grass. Terrible.
DTP almost gets Maxton.
Oh, good save. It could have been a lot worse, but he's going to be tagged with a big slowdown. At the same time, issues for John Moore in that same corner. He is actually going very, very slowly in the grass, but also I think issues for Scott Malcolm, and he has towed back to the pits. What happened to Scott?
Happened?
Usually a very, very consistent driver, Scott Malcolm. Here we go.
So riding on with Scott Malcolm. He's behind one of the Result clothing cars. His teammate, it is concerned. The 685 car is taking
635,
out.
I think.
That was Michael Berry.
Not Carl Hardy, 635?
Oh, Carl Hardy's got him on that, and he just didn't slow down. Well, returning back to DTP, he's having a fight with Liam Silkstone after that slowdown, and he's down in 7th right there. So that promotes Jacqueline and Ben Sharp to have a clean fight with Max.
Nick
that
Barry.
is Barry in the wall.
Yeah, and he's trying to put the car into the right direction, but as you can see, he has to wait. Oh, who was that? I think it was Lee Dimmer having an issue, a moment, I should say, and able to save the car. I think he wasn't expecting to find an opponent parked in that particular, and that's the problem with this track. You don't, you might have the yellow flags, but you don't know a lot of what's up next. And all of a sudden you might find a car, you see, okay, yellow flag, car stopped, but where? And the racing surface is not that wide, so basically you have to hope that you are able to pass the damage, the danger, and pass the, go past. And Maxwell now battling with Silkstone as they are side by side. Maxwell putting 2 wheels on the grass on the outside. and that is Taylor Piggott, of course, not Silkstone. My apologies. So, back to the front, or to the front, yes, because we were fighting for the lead.
Back, yeah, back at the front, we got Charles Kellerman and Steve Cooley. These guys going side by side, and we're going to have an overtake for the lead. The smoking engine's not going to help them this time, as Steve Cooley overtakes the lead. And here comes Tyler Maxson. It looks like Steve Cooley had a little bit of incident. Steve Cooley almost got into Tyler Maxson. Tyler had it by surprise. Steve Cooley, oh, he tightens up. They touched each other right there. And Tyler, he's not going to be happy about that. He believes in you race me one way, I'm going to race you in the exact same way, but 3 times harder, as these 3 are battling out for the lead. Remember, they got Carl Jacqueline and Ben Sharp are immediately behind us. So this might be a 5-car battle for first place very soon if this battle keeps going on the way it is.
Yes, we are heading into the backstretch for the first of the 3 times in this second race. Steve Cooley.
Oh, here goes Maxson.
Ooh, here we go.
Maxson up on the inside. That was a clean move right there. He scared Kellyman to the top of the track, and that just pretty much gave him the position right there. So Maxson sits in second. Cooley in first. Kellyman down in third, followed by Jacqueline and Ben Sharp.
Is it me or I see some damage on the front of Maxson's car? Or...
No, you are absolutely not mistaken. Maxson, after that incident with, I believe that was,
Oh, here we go. He doesn't seem to be phased by the damage and goes for the lead and takes it.
Well, that was easy. Where's his staples button? Earlier on the lap, Tyler Maxson, he hit the back of one car, which I believe it was Steve Cooley, actually. And he kind of gave him a little bit of punt through the chicane in the Grand Prix part of the track. And,
oh, yeah,
you know,
there was a little bit of traffic jam there. Absolutely right. At the same time, seems like David Taylor Piggott is having another issue, cutting the course there. Back on the track, Kellyman now in third, but under massive pressure from Carl Jacqueline and Ben Sharp. Similar liveries, but different teams. Year 1 Racing for Jacqueline and Ben Sharp for Fury Sim Sport Academy, as you can see right here.
And after that, heartache of a disaster in the first race for Fury Sim Sport, as we are looking at one of the teams. That is Hansford.
Steve Hansford with big issues and towing back to the pits.
So what's happened to Steve right here? He's got DTP. Oh my goodness.
He blew his engine.
He blew his engine. Somebody else behind him hit the wall. That was one of the year 1 cars. There's a Fury car going on. Yeah, Dale Bennison was behind him, and I think he saw that brake lights pop up. And then, he gets punted from behind.
By Carl Hardy, I think.
Is that the second Carl Hardy hit we've seen today?
Oh,
as
Cooley
we're
back in the lead.
Back to the front straight. Cooley has overtaken Maxson on the straight, but Maxson's just sitting in that slipstream. Then he's gonna retake it back as they enter into the Grand Prix circuit. These guys are going side by side like it's the last lap of the race, but it's still the first out of 3. They're going 3 wide back there. That's great racing. But Tyler Maxson and Steve Cooley in a little league of their own, as Jacqueline, Sharp, and Kellerman are right behind. And Tyler, even with that damage, he still has the overspeed, and he's going to take first as they come onto the front straight. As Ben Sharp and Carl Jacqueline, Ben Sharp getting onto the curb, almost gets launched into Jacqueline right there. As this is some great formation drive between DCP, Essen, and Boré.
This is for the lead of the pro race. Boré seems to be temporarily in the lead of that race, but back to the front. Maxson in front of Steve Cooley, Ben Sharp in third. Defending from Jacqueline, I think they should work together to go and catch the 2 leaders. Kellyman now down to 5th, and Maxwell in 6th, and Silkstone in 7th. This is your top 7 of the race, and also of the pro of the amateur. And Tyler Maxson is around and almost collects Jacqueline and Kellyman.
I don't think there was contact in that. I think he just lost it.
We will know in a few seconds. Let's see.
I was watching Maxson in practice earlier on today, and he was having a lot of trouble with this little turnaround. The first race, he was so perfect with it, and you just get he just got onto the brakes and then onto the gas a little bit early. Yep, no contact. Tyler Maxson went around on his own. That is disastrous for the race 1 winner, but he kept the engine running and he's sitting in 5th. Can he close down on the leaders now and try to get the sweep? Because Carl Jacqueline and Ben Sharp, they're still kind of behind Steve Cooley, but their battling has actually made it worse for them. But Tyler Maxson, we've seen him do some amazing things with 2 laps to go. I know I sound biased. I swear I'm not. This is just some great racing.
As Jacqueline takes an alternative route and Sharp spins.
Oh, Ben Sharp crashed it into... Oh!
Good save.
I thought Jacqueline also lost it, but that was actually Kellyman who lost it as well as Ben Sharp. Kellyman was ahead of Jacqueline and then taken off. So what? So both. Okay, no, Kellyman and
Mauritius from Sharp overtaken by Maxwell and Silkstone. So he's dropping some places at the same time. Here comes Maxson.
Sends it up to the inside as they enter the Nordschleife. And Tyler Maxson not even out of the podium now. He's going for that win. He is 13 seconds. How far away is Max from Steve Cooley?
We will tell you it straight away. He's 5 seconds.
4.
5.8.
4.2. Yeah, 4.
No, sorry. Yeah, 4.2. 4.1. Yes, absolutely. You are
Yeah, we're
absolutely
not
right.
watching Charles. We're watching Tyler. Tyler, 4 seconds ahead. He was going to go for that sweep of a win. 1 and 1. 1 and 1 and done. Since there's only 2 races in today. I don't think we've ever had somebody sweep the podium in the wins category.
I don't think that we had, but we shall see if this happens tonight. Of course, the reduced format helps with 2 races instead of 3. The longer format, gives the
We've
quickest drivers.
we've had 2 winners out of 3 races, but we never had somebody sweep the podium. So this might have a little asterisk next to his name, but it's like 3 races with the length of the green hell.
The format helps the fast drivers because the longer races, the talent can prevail easier. But also, I wanted to make another point, but I forgot. So let's pretend like nothing happened.
And we're back to the race after that little short commercial break. Steve Cooley leading it off, and Charles Jacqueline and Tyler Maxson are in a little bit of a battle for 2nd place. And Tyler, he's made a little bit of a mistake after getting the lead of the race and starting 11 places down, but he's also with the 11 places up of Carlos Jacqueline, who he's
made a mistake
right now as we're looking at Steve Cooley, who's comfortably in the lead by 2 seconds.
Made a mistake. He lost almost 1 second in this sector, so I think he went a bit too deep on the brakes there at the chicane. His car is still relatively clean, but Maxson and Jacqueline are coming, and they're getting closer. Maxson using the alternative line there.
Getting in the grass on the tires. The back end is spinning, is all over the place. And this is where Tyler likes. If he likes to put he gets into the side of him. Jacqueline did not leave any room for Tyler Maxson. And Tyler uses that front end, that well-beaten, war-torn front end of his to push Jacqueline out of the way after he did not leave any room. He says, you don't leave any room? Fine, I'll push the gate open some more. And he takes 2nd place. And now we got a 3-car fight for the lead.
Wow, that was
aggressive,
but well played by both drivers. As Ben Sharp, his race going from bad to worse, from fighting for a possible spot on the podium. I think he just scraped the wall there. I saw some sparks fly. Let's see if his car is okay. Then we'll jump back to the lead.
No.
He's having some issues, but back here because Maxson is about to pull a move over Steve Cooley.
Again. I must say, this is the 2nd time he's fought back. And in this part of the track where they're going side by side, full throttle, it's a drag race. Literally, as they're halfway through the green hell, Tyler Maxson retakes the lead here in the Nordschleife. For the 2nd time of this race, after coming back after some big odds, he's showing why he's the fastest guy on track. as we're looking back at Maxwell Silkstone, Silkstone in that Castrol-sponsored car. Looking all over the back of Maxwell. Maxwell has a little bit of damage on the back end, but that shouldn't be really affecting his top end speed. But here comes Silkstone. He is locked. He is ready. He is loaded. He's going to swing his car out to the right and fire it down, as well as Cooley at the exact same time. So that was pretty much coordinated by both drivers right there, as Cooley used that switch to his advantage and now retakes on Maxon. And this is great news if you're Jacqueline watching these two guys fight in front of you. That allows Carl Jacqueline, and knowing Carl, he's probably going to sit back, relax, and watch this a little bit and wait until the very last lap, or until an instant, as Tyler's going to be up onto the inside right here and retake the lead. As now, here comes Jacqueline. He's on this fight, as Jacqueline's on the inside of Steve Cooley, as these leaders are so tight right now.
I mean, fantastic battle for the lead. This is not over by any stretch of the imagination, because Cooley has proven that he can hang into the slipstream, as Jacqueline makes a mistake there. He can hang into the slipstream of Maxon, and really, if you stay close, then you have that, you know, one final lunge on the backstretch. So I think Cooley certainly not out of this, not by a long stretch of the imagination, and you know, this is not going to be as easy as race 1 for Tyler Maxon.
All three of these guys have a chance to win. Jacquelette's fallen back a lot after that carousel incident where he went wide and didn't stay on the bank turn. But I think he's just probably taking it easy and regrouping himself before heading back on the charge. But as everyone's spreading out, they kind of have a 1 second gap spreading in between them. Steve Cooley just keeping Tyler Maxon in his sights, because we are not on the final lap yet. This is still lap 2.
Exactly, lap 2 out of 3.
Oh, Cooley's around.
Cooley is around.
Well, nope, he was drifting it. He got onto the curb and smoke came out of Cooley's car, and I just jumped ahead of my words, but it was going around from what it looked like. So we're going to look at Silkstone, Kellyman, and Maxwell. Silkstone at the very back end, Kellyman right with them as well. Kellyman actually pulling away from these two, as it looks like Maxwell had a little bit of an incident. And, ooh, there goes Kellyman way off the track. Oh, and Steve Cooley's off the track as well. And he's going to rejoin right ahead of Carl Jacqueline. Probably Tyler saw that in his rearview mirror and just said, bye-bye.
And I think he's going to be tagged with a slowdown as Jacqueline passes him. Let's see what happened.
So running on board with Cooley, and I think he just clipped this curb right here on the apex. Turn in. Oh, nope, didn't clip anything, just went wide.
Yeah. Carrying too much speed through the corner. And that was all she wrote so far, and now Jacqueline is going to be in for a tough task if he wants to come back at Maxon together with his teammate Steve Cooley there. So let's focus on this battle right here, because Kellyman, Maxwell and Silkstone 4th, 5th and 6th, but with the lead of the pro race coming through, and quickly at that, with Boire and Footer Van Essen and Ben Sharp also tagging along with these two drivers, trying to get back into the top 5 overall, and the top 5 of course of the amateur class, as Silkstone pops out of the slipstream and goes into 5th. And now maybe you should go back, you know, in the draft and then trying to jump. You know, this is the oval driver in me, no? So
yeah, this is definitely oval strategies with the slipstream, and Silkston's actually lost time, but I think he's just being the good racer in him and just trying to be clean as well. As now here comes Maxwell popping out of the stream, and Silkstone, he was already lined up to pick up Maxwell, and he's going to get ahead of Kellyman. And yep, it's a 4-car group, and now Kellyman's the man holding out, and now they're going 3 wide, and Silkstone's ahead. Oh, the brake lights come on the straight. You don't want that really happening as they're coming around these S's. Maxwell leads out the group of 4, or the peloton of this race, as Maxwell comes across, Maxon comes across the line in first, followed by Jacqueline and Steve Cooley. As everyone spreads out once more, Silkstone, he's playing it super safe by sitting on to the outside of that slipstream.
Yes, the white flag is in the air. Sale la Blanca here in the Nordschleife race 2 of 2 tonight in this special Monday night doubleheader here from the Gesamtstrecke, the 24-hour track, as we have a trio of OSL HCon racing cars with Max Boire now passing his teammate Maxwell. These two are in a different class. And Footer Van Essen now trying to follow suit. At the same time, Silkstone is trying to get back at Kellyman there in the battle for 7th. And I think that Jacolette, you know, he has to worry about Steve Cooley more than Max. You can see Max on the race leader there at the front. If he doesn't make any mistakes, I think he is in the clear for the race win. But this is far from over in this fight, both for second and third, and this other fight here from basically a fourth position backwards.
Yeah, Maxwell just in that real sandwich, but these guys are in charge of a massive train. Everyone hop on the OSL train because how many cars are following one of each other right there? I think I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 cars right there. Don't ask how I saw 7. I'm paranoid with that. Yeah, 6-car train. I believe that's Sharp just trailing at the end of that as Max Boire goes off the track just a little bit. They head into the chicane. This is what can make it break a lap and define it, as Maxwell gives a little bit off track right there, and Boire has a little bit of chance. But look at Silkstone and Kellyman. Silkstone and Kellyman. I think I just heard a Call of Duty hit marker go off, and I think they just touched each other right there.
It was very, very close. A bit too close for comfort as these two keep fighting, but I have to say what a fantastic round this has been for Silkstone, really coming into his own in the Nordschleife. And now, with a fantastic run, but there is absolutely no way through in this particular section of the racetrack.
Yeah, Silkstone all over Kellyman's backside, but it's very hard to make a overtake in this sector of the Nordschleife. He's going to save it and look for the definite overtake coming along, but they've been separated from that from that OSL train. And I must say that is some teamwork with the OSL guys. All these guys are heading in a train. They're all slipstreaming off each other. They must be communicating, letting each other, hey, you're still in me, let me pass. And I'm pretty sure they aren't giving overtakes that easily. But these guys are just an absolute unit.
As we see now, Silkstone, Kellyman and Sharp, going back to what you were saying earlier, absolutely this series, one of the things that really helps a driver with drivers with is that you learn to work as a unit with your teammates. It is very important when you see then on the Monday series, the big series. You see that these drivers, especially in qualifying, are very, very good in forming like massive trains of cars, giving each other a slipstream and trying to qualify, especially for the first race, as close as possible towards the front, so then in the race you can work together. Once again, this car, probably the most aero-sensitive car in the draft in all of the service. So if you can have some friends, you better have them, because they are very, very useful, and we are seeing it right now as well, because the OSL guys are really putting on a show, and Andy Maxwell certainly is happy to have his two pro teammates, one in front and one behind, and also staying with them. I think Austin gives him more of a sense of the rhythm he has to keep, and to maybe have faster laps, so to be able to maintain his position.
Yeah, they're all running the same setup. Probably a little variations on each of them, but he's learning from the pros on which lines and how fast he can go by, because he knows what car they're heading and how they're driving it. So we're looking back at Silkstone, Kellyman, and Sharp, as Silkstone leads out this battle for 7th. what a drive by Kellerman. Finishing last the last race and started up front, saying it he's around an 8th, and Ben Sharp's caught up to him after moving up 2 spots. Silkson's moved up 3. Your biggest mover of the race, that would be Max Borre and Wouter van Essen moving up 19 spots. Tyler Maxson sits in the lead, 13 spots ahead, followed by the ever-moving Carl Jacqueline. Steve Cooley's pretty much been up there the entire race, so he knows what to do up front.
He certainly does, as we are basically in the second half of the final lap. Tyler Maxson has completed the 60% of his final lap, so to have an idea, he's got, I think, more or less 4 minutes of racing left if he wants to bring home the race win, as, like you were saying, Silkston is pulling away from Kellyman. At the same time, Sharp is getting closer and closer to the black and white optical racing car.
I must say, if that's your definition of pulling away, you need your eyes strategy. Kellerman's actually closed down on Silkson. I know what you mean. Coming out of the corner, Silkson had a massive lead, but that slipstream has brought Silkson back up to Charles Kellerman, and he's gone wide right there. That's going to give Kellerman the opportunity, but look at Ben Sharp. He's going around the inside and around the outside, and as they're approaching the carousel, and one small move can cause disaster right here for both of these drivers, or all 3 of them. And we see Ben Sharp going wide on that carousel. Looks like he was grinding the apex to where it was tilted in and where it was just regularly tilted. But these guys are racing as hard as they can. Half a second separates all these cars from each other.
Absolutely. Let's give a quick shout out to our race leader, as he's enjoying, like I said, like we said many times, a nice run through the racetrack. And let's give you an idea of where he is. If we can bring up the track map, basically he has a little bit more of the Nordschleife left, and of technical section, and then he will have only the long straight and start finish line of the Grand Prix track. So, like we said, don't want to jinx him, but unless he makes an egregious mistake, he is going to have another win and make it 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, Sharp and Kellerman are battling hard with each other. That is promoting Silkson away, relaxing 7th place, as this is now transitions to the battle for 8th place, as we're on the last lap with 1 minute to go, as they're, I believe, making their way to come down that long straight.
Sharp looking on the outside, which now becomes the inside. No way through here. He knows he has the pace. He has to, I think, I would go for the move on the backstretch, but not straight away, because if you move straight away, then the other car has basically the other half of the backstretch to overtake, but if you wait just a bit more, you could really then make the move towards the end. There is no way through unless there's some contact or a crazy pass into the very final part of the track in the S's that bring you back to the Grand Prix start finish line. Behind these guys, Matt Emery, one of the pro drivers, 3rd in the pro class, is also joining. The race leader having the time to look at the fantastic panorama on his left and right side here in the German forest, as he is about to bring home another race victory in Fury Sim Sport Academy colors. But not over yet for these guys here. Sharp, Kellyman, Emery is coming through them. Silkston also is very close, as we have also Maxwell battling with Wouter van Essen. Beautiful job by the OSLH Con guys. And here is Tyler Maxson then enjoying another race victory.
And Maxson, he's done it. He's taken the race 1 win, and he's taken a race 2 win. And Carl Jacqueline once again takes another 2nd place. As we're looking back at this massive battle for 7th, Silkstone, Kellerman, Emery, and Sharp. Where did Emery come from?
Oh,
Emery's all over. He was hopping over the curb. He's going to have a little bit of run on Kellyman. Emery and Kellyman having a little bit of drag race, but look at Kellyman. He's sitting in that slipstream of Silkstone, and he's going to barely take 8th place right there. But diving into the pits, that is
Kip Stevens. That is like his trademark move, no? Moving into the pits in the final.
He's still got ahead of him. Yeah, I don't think he lifted off when he was going into the pits. Yeah, he's still got the event.
Moore! Mistake.
John Moore.
And here comes
Moore
Scott Malcolm.
on track, very spot, and Scott Malcolm snipes it away, but they are not even on the front. They aren't even on the straight yet. That's how spread out this field is.
Yeah, both of them and Mick Barry. These will be the two drivers we will have to wait a bit for. So, well, let's follow them. Let's give them some camera time. As oh, we have other drivers who, by the way, have to finish the race. Mark Westwood is one of them. Martin Sampson is one of them as well in the beautiful Automac Knock Hill livery. That we have seen also in other championships last Sunday, and I think we'll see it back in the on the Racing Esports Network in September when the Sim Racers World GT3 Series makes its debut there, and this makes us very, 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 very happy. A series that really deserves to be there, so you don't want to miss that.
And he's gonna give us a little bit of a show right here. Oh, I'll rate him on the. Oh, he's at the wall. As Malcolm and Moore, these guys are battling out and going to give us a show to the very end. They're driving down that long first straight. There's a car ahead of them. I believe that is Steve Hansford. But Malcolm, don't think he's going to go for that slipstream. Moore thinks he can do it. Moore's got the slingshot enabled, and he's going to slowly coast past. But this is where that slipstream advantage kind of ends, where you're both hit by that wall of air. But it looks like Malcolm on the inside might have a little bit of advantage if Moore does not come over just a little bit more. And Scott Malcolm and John Moore, these two going side by side. Scott Malcolm takes the lead for 20th place, and he's going to cruise ahead to that first corner, that second corner, and then that tighter third corner, and back onto the front straight. Who's going to have the exit to take victory here? Exit speeds, I believe Moore has a little bit of a boost of speed, but it's not going to mean enough as Scott Malcolm takes 20th spot, followed by John Moore in 21st spot. And coming up next is Michael Berry.
Yeah, testament to these guys, because even though this was for P20, they really fought hard. In the end, Scott Malcolm was able to profit from John Moore's mistake and put the car in 20th place. Any point counts, as we are heading into the final 2 weeks of the season that are actually coming on as faster than we imagined, in the sense that it seems to be like this season started yesterday, but we are already in round 10 and we only have 2 of them left. So whilst we wait for Mick to come back home, let me tell you what is coming up in this particular series, because like I said, there are 2 events left and then we will crown our summer champion, waiting for, of course, the fall series, autumn. What do you prefer to say, fall or autumn? Because in school they teach us to say autumn, but I prefer the term fall. But I think
in America it's fall.
Yeah.
In Texas it's just colder summer.
Okay, so next Monday we will be back, and the series will bring the drivers all the way to Mid-Ohio, so in your backyard, more or less. And then
I live 22 hours away from that track. I used to live right next to it. I must say, I used to live right next to it. So technically my other backyard.
I was almost right. And as Mick Berry comes home, we will finish once again in your backyard at Road America. So we move to your beautiful country, Austin, for the end of the season. Let's go uh, through the race results, and we move the drivers in the right interview area. Otherwise, they're going to give interviews for the World GT, which I
Which that would be awkward.
that would be very, very awkward. But before the interviews, let's go. Here we go. The official race results for race 2.
Taking the win sleep, it's Tyler Maxson finishing first once again. You might think this is the same exact result sheet. No, it's a bit different. Tyler Maxson takes the win, followed by Carlos Jacqueline. Steve Cooley finishes out the podium, and there followed by Andy Maxwell, Max Moray, Wouter van Essen, Liam Silkstone, Charles Kellyman, Matt Emery, Ben Sharp, Dan Blake, Christian Brown, Lee Deemer, Kip Stevens, Martin Sampson, Dale Bennison, Mark Westwood, Max Wright, and
Multitasking is hard. I'm sorry.
He's followed by Steve Hansford, Scott Malcolm, John Moore, Michael Berry, DTP of David Taylor Piggott, Alan Tuke, Carl Hardy, and Craig Jones finishes out this 26 car grid. And that is it for today's race. And now we go to the interview room with Tyler Dive Bomb Maxson. Nope, never mind. He's not there. I
Nope.
thought I saw him. Now we go with Carl Chocolat. Howdy, Carl. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad at all. Thank you.
2 second places. I'll take that.
Yeah, I was a bit miffed in the last race. Struggled with damage after Mr. Dive bombed me and rammed me out of the way.
It looked like it was a very particular incident. Anything you want to say?
No, I won't say anything public.
All right. Well, I'll let you settle that. Anyone who want to shout out after this race?
Yeah, a lot of shout outs to Andy Maxwell for a terrific race in race 1. That finish was just awesome. He was on fire tonight. Well done, mate.
All right, Marco. Anything you want to ask?
What about, first of all, hello Carl, welcome back to the booth. And
Thank you.
so tonight a little bit different race format than usual with only the 2 races, but 2 very long races, basically half an hour for both, which meant that not only less time, less races to get things good, things right, sorry, but also the pro drivers sometimes were getting into the mix. Of course, you didn't have this issue finishing in front, but how did you approach tonight's event, knowing that with only 2 races, basically you had to get your results in both of them? Because if you scored 0 in one of these, it's some big points left for other drivers.
Absolutely. Well, I had a little bit of concentration in setting up of the car to protect the tyres. I didn't want to burn the tyres out, so I wanted to have pace at the end of the race. So I was quite conscious of that, and also not pushing too hard right at the beginning to cook those tyres. It's trying to stay out of trouble, but also trying to move through the field at the same time. It doesn't always come together hand in hand, but I do seem to be able to keep out of trouble at the moment. I'm really pleased with that. It's looking good for the future if that continues.
Well, certainly, and tonight was a great showing from you, and can't wait for next week, so catch you in 7 days time, Carl.
Yeah, certainly will. I was well chuffed with race 1. I was, 25th to second. That was awesome, absolutely awesome. Really enjoyed it.
Awesome, and turning off the computer and being happy is certainly, I think, the best thing. Being happy with how you drove certainly is the best feeling you can have. So, well, Carl,
Yeah.
congratulations once again, and we
Thank
shall
you.
catch you in
Hopefully
7
I'll
days.
wrap up the championship next weekend.
Yeah.
Next Monday. I've got a big lead at the moment, so it should be fairly straightforward.
Perfect. We wish you the best. Catch you next week.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right. Well, he says a little bit of incident with Tarmac. So let's bring in the double race winner into the commentating booth and see what he has to say about that. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man himself, Tyler Dive Maxon.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Pretty good racing from both of us, and pretty good show, except for race one where we had to miss most of that. But looks like you had an amazing race.
Oh yeah, an amazing night, really. Won both race one and race two. Just had to balance everything. Had really no issues other than apart really from the spin in race two, which was totally self-inflicted. But yeah, bounced back from it quite good and was able to come out with another win.
You had a little bit of incident with Carl Jacqueline. He gave us his insight. Thought it was a little bit dirty of your push up the inside. Anything you want to say about that?
Just whenever someone's on the inside, you got to leave them the space. Whenever you turn it on someone, it's to be expected that they're going to hit you. You're only going to get away with that for so long until it's really going to come and bite you hard. So, just keep that in mind.
All right. Well, anything you want to say? Anyone you want to shout out after this race?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just all the boys over at Fury, absolutely awesome job. All of us, really doing well in the races. Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, Marco, anything you want to say?
Hey, man, of course, once again, congratulations. And secondly, next two rounds are both in your country, Mid-Ohio and Road America, so certainly you are looking forward to them.
Definitely, yeah. I'm actually just about to get on the phone with the real life team at some point and try to get the real life setups for that place. Really need an advantage going into the last 2 weeks of the championship. I'd love to get another win or a few wins in that time, so would be absolutely wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Tyler. Congratulations, and catch you next week.
Yep, see you then.
All right, that was Tyler, and I believe we got our race finisher of Steve Cooley with us right now. Steve, welcome to the booth.
Hey Austin, how are you?
I am doing just great. You gave us a pretty good show by standing up front and battling it out with the guys. How was that?
Yeah, it's good fun. Really great track for it. It's very, very difficult to get past though, for a lot of guys. So in race one with the pack, it was very, very bad. It's one of those tracks. It's 170 corners. You really need to practice it. If you haven't practiced it, then sorry, you're just not going to be able to keep up with it. But I enjoyed race two a lot. That was real good fun. A nice little battle with Tyler for a while. I know it was an instant with Carol, but I've not seen the replay and everything, so I'll check that one out later.
All right. Anything the Green Hell challenged you for a bit?
So that guys, sorry.
Was the track challenging you in a way?
Yeah, I mean the conditions in the set of race two were pretty dreadful, to be honest. The track was very hot. I think it was about 40 degrees out there. It wasn't a lot of rubber on it either, so there was a lot of understeer, a lot of issues trying to get in the corner. But I came off a little bit like Carl into the second place, and from there on it was just basically holding pattern because Carl's fighting for the championship. But yeah, we were struggling for grip out there a lot. And it's not the track you want to be, but if you know the track, then you just got to adjust to it, haven't you?
All right. Marco, anything you want to say?
Yes, with two races left. One will be at Mid-Ohio and the other at Road America. What are your thoughts on these two tracks remaining?
I haven't raced Mid-Ohio before. Road America I quite like a lot. I think for year one, for everybody that's not named Carol Jacqueline, it's going to be supporting him and Dale Bennison actually. Supporting both those guys to make sure they get first and second in the championship. They've done really well this year. Carol's been phenomenal. He's really been on to the next level. He's won so many races, and puts a lot of work in. So really happy for him and Dale. It's so regular. If you know you want a guy to finish a race, Dale Bennison's there. So they put us in a really good position, first and second in the championship. And up tonight, we were second in the team championship, only 90 points behind results. So hopefully, a good showing tonight means we've maybe made that ground up and we can try and get the team championship and the first and second and the drivers for a team that they started last season. I mean, a huge thing for us, you know.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Steve. Before we let you go, any shout out to the sponsor, friends, family?
Yeah, mainly this is sponsor Graham Sasford. We had some words right after coming together in race one. I think I think he thought I was giving him a hard time, but that wasn't actually the case. It was just more frustration that we came together. But I mean, you know, it's this racing, you know, we'll be fine. But great bloke. Year one flip flops. I mean, what can you say? Year one racing. You know, that's got to be. Well, yeah, that's better now. Sorry, I'm a bit tired after those 2 races, so I think I'll leave it at that.
Thank you very much, Steve, and we shall catch you next week then.
Certainly will. Cheers, Marco.
And that was Steve Cooley, and that was the Nordschleife, Austin. Certainly, many drivers, not very happy, but it's the nature of the track, I think, and like the drivers were saying, 2 races around here, very mentally and physically taxing, and I think that it was a interesting experience for everyone, ourselves included, but it's good to be back on a normal format and normal racetrack next Monday at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, Mid-Ohio should provide some great, fantastic racing for all of us. And from all of us here at Apex Racing TV, I hope y'all are having a great day. Enjoy the races. Are hyped to see next week, because I certainly am.
Yes, and before we go, since you are the resident American of Apex Racing TV, what can you tell us about Mid-Ohio? You know all the secrets about Mid-Ohio, I would hope.
I've only driven the track in real life once, but I can say it's a very elevation change. It's fast, it's hectic, and in these MX5 cars, you're going to see some things that you haven't seen before. But Mid-Ohio is definitely a driver's track and a fan favorite in watching them. So just really expect a great race.
Awesome. Well, Austin, time to wrap it up.
All right. Well, thank you, Marco, for broadcasting this race. Thank you, everyone, for watching the race, even after our little issues. But I believe for all of us watching the replay, that I know a lot of you love to watch. Thank you for tuning in. I've been joined by Marco Barbonera. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a great night.